James Gunn is moving on to be a Kevin Feige in his own right at DC. So Guardians of the Galaxy, as we know them anyway, will never be the same. With this third go round, he works to send them off on a high, and while it tries hard to be the grand finale we all hoped it would be, it still kind of feels more like the same from Marvel. Volume 3 is loaded with James Gunn quirk like talking dogs, bizarre set design, and the same bickering amongst the Guardians crew we've come to love over 3 films. But then there's also a darkness to this latest installment, one that can get very ugly at times, and not necessarily in a good way. It's been set up as sort of an origin story for Rocket, again voiced by Bradley Cooper, who plays the angry, wisecracking raccoon. In flashbacks, we see that he was actually experimented on from a young age by a villain known as the High Evolutionary, played by Chuck Woody Iwuji, whose plan is to create a more perfect society of animals with human characteristics, sort of Dr. Moreau style. When Rocket is left fighting for his life after an attack from the Evolutionary's henchman, Adam Warlock, who's played by Will Poulter, by the way, who kind of comes in and out of this movie, the Guardians have to go on a mission to save him, which involves all sorts of sneaking around, finding specific objects, and getting into a mess of battles with the Evolutionary and his minions. Chris Pratt's Peter Quill, Dave Bautista's Drax, Vin Diesel's Groot, Karen Gillan as Nebula, and Pom Clementif as Mantis are all back and have minor troubles of their own, which soon get overshadowed or just kind of dropped altogether in favor of action sequences. Surprisingly, Zoe Saldana is also back as Gamora, though much changed, and one of Gunn's best inclinations is to not lead that plot line where you expect it to go. And as I said, the humor is still there. Gunn is very good with the dialogue and these characters' personalities and how they interact with each other. Batista still steals scenes with his dry wit. They are very likable together, and I like how they've grown as a team. And there are even moments here that come across as kind of the most emotional of the series. And Gunn is still Marvel's most imaginative weirdo. His sixth sense of humor far surpasses the Star Wars copy and paste job of Quantum Mania. My favorite is the spaceship lair known as the Orgoscope, a villain headquarters that looks like a harvested organ and has henchmen that wear lumpy intestine bodysuits. I kind of wish he could have brought that same sick energy to a planet meant to double Earth, which is supposed to be a utopia where the animal hybrids live in perfection. That's far from the case, but Gunn just gives us a peripheral view of all that's going on. If it's meant to show the horror of the villain's insanity, it fails at really showing how out of control his dream is. Which is too bad because Iwuji is a fine actor. He's left to rage and just be sadistic and abusive and then clear out for the action sequences. You wind up wanting more from him than just violence. If Gunn had managed to develop him more past just acts, I think this could have been one of the Marvel's more psychologically fascinating villains. Instead, the film is too concerned with explosions and space battles and fights with monsters and so on. It's well filmed and will please those looking for special effects spectacle, but it's also overdrawn and kind of lulls you into a stupor after a while. I felt mind-numbed after a while. And what makes it distasteful is Gunn not just puts animals in danger, but children as well. It's pure manipulation meant to up the ante in the finale, but Gunn should know better. It's Gunn's humor and his characters that keep the film swimming along, and his classic rock soundtrack doesn't hurt either, but his attempts at a more dire third entry feel half-hearted at best. There are a few nice ideas, but they're enveloped by the usual Marvel formula. He and his cast want to end on a high, but unfortunately, it sort of just looks like it's on its last legs. That's why I'm going C+, guys. But I'd like to hear from you. What did you think of the movie? Let me know down below there. Also, if you could, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button, and I hope to see you back next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.